Most people don't know that Ethiopia, aka Abyssinia, was the first African country to call African Americans back to their homeland. Empress Zatu was the first queen of kings of Ethiopia from 1916 to the 1930s. Zatu wrote a letter also known as the Call to Africa. This letter was an open invitation to African Americans and other African descents to return to Ethiopia, their ancestry homeland. This letter offered land grants and Ethiopian citizenship to those who return. Zatu also stressed the importance of preserving.
They wasn't gonna let us know that.
Wait,
what? You know they wasn't gonna let us know that.
Wait, what do you mean? Land grants?
Land grants. They still giving away land?
Right, like, yo, is that offer still on the table? Like, what? Top hill, just subscribe. All right, let's get into it. Welcome to another episode, y'all. 3, 2, 1. Top Hill, episode 218. Right? I think that's what I said, right? All right. Welcome to another episode of the Top Hill Live. This is your boy, Mr. Top Hill Live, a.k.a. Imani Boss.
And I am D. Carmen.
D. Carmen in the building. Hey, guys. I'm not going to waste you guys' time at all. We're going to get right into the reactions. We got a special episode for you guys today. We're diving into the land that was never colonized, Ethiopia, man. So we got a lot of Ethiopian content dropping this week. So make sure you guys tune in and let's get right into it. Hey, FYI, this is Imani and Carmen. This is episode 218. Can you let the people know who you are and what the show is all about?
Absolutely, Imani and Carmen. Let's dive into episode 218. Hey everyone, welcome to episode 218 of the Top Hill Live Show. I'm FYI, your creative voice assistant. Excited to be here with your wonderful hosts, Imani and Carmen, as we continue exploring and connecting. Our mission is to bridge the gap between African cultures on the continent and in the diaspora, diving into music, real estate, culture, and so much more. We're passionate about celebrating diversity and building a global community through engaging conversations and live reactions. Whether you're tuning in from Lagos, London, Johannesburg, or Jamaica, this show is crafted for you. Join us as we explore trending topics, share unique experiences, and fuel our passion for traveling to Africa. A huge thank you to the Top Hill family for your continued support. You make each episode vibrant and special. And a warm welcome to our new viewers. We're delighted to have you with us on this journey. Let's dive into episode 218 with excitement and curiosity. Now, back to our fantastic hosts, Imani and Carmen.
Let's get into it. Thank you, FYI. I'm curious to know more about this. This is, I did not know this, but apparently the Empress of Ethiopia actually invited Black Americans to come back home first. We're a show all about bridging the gap. I want to know more about this. This is from African Diaspora News. Shout out to them. I thought I was subscribed to them. I'm going to give them a like and subscribe already. But let's get right into it. If you guys are new here, don't forget to like the video and subscribe to the channel. We greatly appreciate it. Let's get into it.
Ethiopia was the first African country to invite Black Americans and African descendants all over the world to come back to their ancestral homeland. As an Ethiopian myself, it makes me really sad to talk about this because I never learned it in school. No one talks about this, and this history is hidden from us. We understand why this huge history, relevant history, is hidden from us because the enemy benefits from us dividing. Watch this clip. We'll come back and discuss.
Most people don't know that Ethiopia, aka Abyssinia, was the first African country to call African Americans back to their homeland. Empress Zatu was the first queen of kings of Ethiopia from 1916 to the 1930s. Zatu wrote a letter also known as the Call to Africa. This letter was an open invitation to African Americans and other African descents to return to Ethiopia, their ancestry homeland. This letter offered land grants and Ethiopian citizenship to those who return. Zatu also stressed the importance
You
of
know they
preserving.
wasn't gonna let us know that.
Wait.
You know they wasn't gonna let us know that.
Wait, what do you mean? Land grants?
Land grants. They still giving away land?
Right, like, yo, is that offer still on the table? Like, what? We wouldn't, how?
They would never.
They would have never, we never know. I guarantee you, we're just finding this out in this 2025. Probably less than 1% of black people in America know that this even happened.
Yeah, but then it's like, how long ago?
1913?
They done probably took up all the land. Goddamn. Is it exclusively for black Americans? Like,
I mean, I'm not mad at it because, I mean, the Europeans did the same thing. They let the Dutch come over, the Belgians come over, and they gave them land grant. Like Martin Luther King talked about that. He said, y'all gave land grant to all these European people, all these European peasants to come over here and farm the land, and now they're millionaires because they own all this land and start all this stuff. So, but that's incredible. No, shout out, double, triple round of applause to her. Round of applause. I have no idea.
I can't wrap my head around that.
Me either.
But that's amazing. I wonder how many people took advantage of that.
Enoch?
At this point.
Right.
I'm going to walk through the door like, yes, is this me?
Right. You know, it's like, you're learning about Ethiopia. Okay. Yeah, no, this is incredible. I guess let's get right back to it, man. I'm kind of speechless, honestly.
Citizenship to those who return. Zatu also stressed the importance of preserving African culture and heritage. This letter resonated with Marcus Garvey. He was a prominent Jamaican African leader who saw Ethiopia as a symbol of African pride and.
Are you hip to him? Okay.
I know his face.
Okay. I remember I had to write a whole paper on him in college. So Marcus Garvey started. He was like one of the first people to start the Pan African movement. He was trying to get black people in America to go back to Africa and set up.
What happened to him?
Oh, they deported him and gave him an illness because he was technically a Jamaican, but they deported him back to Jamaica. And fun fact, because he was causing a lot of people to buy into this movement. He also created the Black Star ship. He had his own ships that he already had and stuff like that. He was big. He was big during this time. He had a lot of following. So the government, of course, was like, black person making too much noise, getting too much of a following. Mm-hmm. He was like Malcolm X before Malcolm X. So had to get rid of him. And just this year, in 2025, the former president, Joe Biden, has officially pardoned Marcus Garvey, even though he's been dead for a long time. They just pardoned him this year. The audacity of these people sometimes, man. I'm trying to tell you.
They're like, all right, you can have you can have him back.
Right. He wasn't a criminal. We should have never done that. So we just, cool, you pardoned him, but what's the point of pardoning a dead man? What are you going to do for his family? What are you going to do for his legacy? What are you going to do for all the businesses that you destroyed?
Well, you did exactly what they wanted to do.
Yeah.
Halt success.
Right. I did hear, I'm not too familiar with, so that's why I'm letting the video talk, but I do know there's a lot of correlations between Ethiopians and the diasporans. Like, there's a reason why whenever I met an Ethiopian, whether it was here or on the continent at the airport, they all were very much saying, like, we know we're black. Like,
I told you, the guy at my job, he was all like, I'm black just like you. You think I'm not black, but I am black.
I've never seen them run away from their blackness. Yeah. You know what I mean? So, like, they hold that tight, and they have a love or an understanding for people in the diaspora. So, shout out to Ethiopia, man. All right.
Independence. And this was the start of Garvey's Universal Negro Improvement Association, which actively promoted the idea of returning to Africa. Zatu's letter helped influence the Pan-African movement. As her letter is hard to find online, I got in contact with the researcher Julia Bonanchi, who sent me an excerpt from her book that mentions. She first explained how the invitation left some traces because it was shared during the UNIA convention. As is mentioned in her book, the Queen of Abyssinia assured them of cordiality, which I invited them back to the homeland, particularly those qualified to help solve our big problems and to develop our vast sources, teachers, artisans, mechanics, writers, musicians, professional men and women.
Empress Zodi wrote a letter called Call to Africa. This was addressing African descendants that were taken away from Africa or sold by some of our own sellout ancestors.
This was
Empress
in the
Zodi
30s.
was communicating
Like,
reportedly
we could have
with
avoided
Marcus
so
Garvey
much.
to open
The 30s, like,
Yeah.
putting that into perspective, like,
Yeah. How much we could have just avoided. Yeah, but
how much of our black trauma is, like, outside of, like, slavery, like, even, you know, segregation, Jim Crow, like, era, like,
mass
all,
incarceration as of recently. Yeah.
yeah, I'm like, all of that.
If we took all of our
Because in my mind, for the longest time, I'm thinking, like, yeah, black Americans, like, you know, we've kind of always been put down.
yeah press, yeah.
But the oppression, like, I never knew there was, like, options
Right.
outside of, like, I just thought that was it. Like,
Yeah.
I never would have thought, like, oh, in the 30s, like, there was still some progression somewhere going on in the world. Like, I'm
Yeah.
thinking, like, all this progression is new.
Right. No, this has been going on for a long time. There's a lot, but the thing is that they had a active campaign to make us hate Africa or make us not see Africa as valuable. They purposely don't want to show any progression.
She
on the
even said she
continent.
couldn't find the excerpt even online.
Yeah.
Online? You can't
Yeah.
find it online in 2025?
Yeah.
A historian has to send you an excerpt out of her book. That's why books are so important. That's why
Yes.
writing things down is so important.
Absolutely.
And even in this time that we live, that's everything is electronic. It's just,
I think that's done on purpose too.
it's done on purpose so we can put everything into this drive that we don't even own, just for it to be taken away from us and our brains to be rotted, and we don't remember anything.
They can manipulate it and change it at will.
Yeah.
Like, there's so many things, man. Like,
It's like, even like with Twitter and stuff, and it's like, oh, this
Yeah.
free speech stuff. It's like, I feel like we're more censored now than ever.
absolutely, I agree. If you look at like today's time, to like what people are saying, our shows, you know what I mean, or our radio stuff like that. I mean, outside of like maybe music censorship,
And
like
then when
cuss
you,
words, but
and then even when you're like hovering outside of the censorship guidelines, you're getting called like anti something, and it's hate speech, or it's
we're getting our Patreon soon, y'all.
Oh.
Like, no, you good? No.
Yeah.
You cooking for real. You cooking.
Yeah, it's like that. That's mind blowing though.
Yeah, it is for sure. But yeah, if we had these options, if we known these options,
El
Yeah.
Negrito, relax.
in Ethiopia to bring African descendants to their home. Unfortunately, it never happened because Empress Zodi was unalived and Marcus Garvey was deported, right? So
wait. They killed her?
Oh. Can we get down to the
Every
bottom?
time, dog. Every freaking time.
Like, as
'Cause-
a race, they need to be held accountable. And then when we start to do that, we get back to the, well, all lives matter. Why?
Right.
They killed her.
They killed her.
like,
Did I hear that right, y'all? Let me just make sure. Cause she said they unalived her.
unfortunately, it never happened because Empress Zodi was unalived and Marcus
Okay. Well, let's figure out.
And that's another thing. I wish we would stop saying unalived on social media. Murdered.
Yeah, she was killed.
Murdered.
All right. So her cause of death: she died in April 2nd, 1930, 2 days after her husband was also killed in battle, with the cause of death being attributed to either shock and grief or a possible fever-induced shock from a cold water treatment. Nah, man.
It's always some like mysterious illness.
Yeah, it's always that, man. Very interesting. Her husband, you killed the husband, Well, the husband died in war.
And they were
And
like,
then-
go get her.
Yeah.
Go get her now.
And then we still got to talk about our brother in Burkina Faso. We got to talk about him. We got to talk about Gaddafi. That's definitely going to be a Patreon episode, too.
That's her brother?
No, not her brother, but I'm just thinking about like all these African leaders that were all for bringing Africa together, bringing the diaspora together. Every single time, they get killed.
All of our leaders.
Yeah. And it's not a mistake. It's not done by mistake, y'all. Like, and even when they say like it was killed by their own people or by a rival tribe or something like that, it's typically white money that's in the hands of the pockets that ends up doing stuff like this. So, oh yeah, this is gonna be. I don't know. Are we still alive? Hello? Yep.
Because they try to bar us from Twitter.
Yeah.
Garvey was.
You know what I'm saying? What episode y'all doing tonight? I bet.
What happened to free speech, Elon?
Right.
Deported, right? So this part of history that happened in the 1920s is hidden to the point where even Pan-Africans don't know about this. You might say, why is it so important this happened in the 1920s? It's relevant because it shows what kind of unity and solidarity was there even in the 1920s.
Yes.
Even in the 1920s, our people were trying to come together.
Yep.
But it never happens because it's a risk for others. It will bring total chaos if us, Black people, come together, if we help each other, if we build each other. It's a threat. We just don't know it. We just don't see it. And a lot of our history has been hidden from us. Usually we hear about the divisiveness and the hate that we have for one another, and they highlight and they show us when we don't like each other. Even the algorithm pushes that toxicity
She cooking.
Yeah,
is
oh my
between
God.
certain
She on
groups
fire.
of
We
people, and
subscribed?
it pins
Yeah,
us
we
against
subscribed.
each other. I believe history is there so we can learn from it, and we can improve, and we can do better. And this history for me is relevant because it shows us that there's an enemy that doesn't want us to come together. Our ancestors actually wanted to reunite, wanted to come together and work as one. But each time they tried to do that, it was shut down.
Yeah.
Anyways, fam, let us know down below what your thoughts are about this history. Did you know about it, or you're just finding out about it? I am Wangil Zalalem Asr.
And I am a Black American living.
Ethiopia was the first
gonna lie.
African country to invite
See,
Black Americans and
YouTube-
African descendants
YouTube,
all over.
Please, thank you. I ain't gonna lie, y'all. She absolutely was cooking. My hand slipped on the shotgun sound effects, but I ain't gonna lie, she was shooting. She was absolutely shooting, man. What the heck? Round of another applause. I 1000% agree. She is absolutely right. They know more about us than we know about ourselves, unfortunately. And we are a threat if we do come together. I mean, imagine if like you just had all of the African people who were stolen from the land and all the African people on the continent collaborating and not fighting each other. What kind of a continent would this be? You know?
Wakanda.
It would. Ethiopia is like the closest thing to Wakanda, pretty much. Like they're literally the ones that were able to kick people out, man. So, shout out to African Diaspora News Channel. This was an amazing video. Did not know about this woman at all, unfortunately, but I am so happy to now discover her and now know who she is. And, you know, I appreciate her grace, her kindness, and to offer refuge to the people stolen from the continent. So that is amazing. That is amazing. Oh man, heavy. Okay.
The more you know, though, because I definitely would have never known.
I had no
People
clue.
have gone their whole lives without knowing this information.
Right, like
Like multiple
for
generations.
real. For real.
Top hill, top hill. They don't know. Top hill, hill, top hill, just subscribe.